Welcome to WideNet Gaming, where I give a review, an update, and detailed information, casting a wide net, covering various gameplay elements that different people are looking for in a review. Today, looking at Kingdom 2 Crowns and New Lands. Now, all the footage that you're seeing is of the game Kingdom 2 Crowns. The games are pretty similar. What the developer has done is they make a new game. They've also done one before, Kingdom New Lands, which came before 2 Crowns, which is called Kingdom Classic. And they've done this again with 2 Crowns, adding in more gameplay elements. Like you're seeing right now, I'm attacking a home base of the antagonist in the game called the Greed. And there's different things that where you build various units, upgrade them, and the objective and how the game plays out is also a little bit different. Now, I'm going to be referencing New Lands here and there based on how Kingdom 2 Crowns works, but going to be focusing on that game mainly. So what is the game? It is a building simulator. Doesn't look like it at all. Like you see that I'm walking from a 2D perspective, side view. I'm going left, I'm going right, and looks like I am attacking, but how it works is you're indirectly controlling everything that is going on in the game. You start off as a king, queen, across a couple different biomes. This one that you're seeing is the classic right now, but there's also a Japanese biome as well, and there's different little neat aesthetic changes. But how it works is you start the game. You're looking at the Japanese biome. Different color palette, different type. There's an emperor, a shogun, all different colors, and the mount essentially starts the same. You're on a horse, regardless of which biome that you are picking. But you start off just on your mount. Very little explanation. Not a story-heavy, classic indie game, and it has this beautiful pixelated style, although it's not restricted. So you start off just a very short tutorial leading you to the middle of the map where you have your base, and it explains how the game works. You have to build, you have to go out, recruit villagers. They're called vagrants, and then you recruit them, and then they join your kingdom community, and then you assign what will happen. Will they be archers, builders, etc.? And then after this short tutorial is over, then you're basically left to doing what you want. And that's kind of the way you want to approach the game. You don't want to, worry too much about, okay, I do this, having it too scripted. You can kind of decide what you want to do and where you want to go. If your base is in the middle, you can go left, you can go right. But it's very heavy on exploration. But starting off early, so what you'll do is you'll go out into the forest and look for the game's currency, which dictates how the game plays out. You're dropping coins, recruiting villagers, building, etc. And while this is all going on, you have this day-night cycle along with seasons. Now, initially, you're starting off in the springtime, and it's beautifully like the art design direction, and there's different weather effects with the rain and whatnot. But while this is going on, once the night comes and the antagonists come out, on both sides of the map, there's various portals, and you can see right here in the video, a couple are coming out, and their goal is, they're called the Greed, and that reflects they're after your coin and taking everything away. Now, from you directly, you see in the top right, I have a sack of coins that I have accumulated. So that's their goal, and they're going after you this whole time. Now, you eventually have to defend, because they're going to go right towards your community. So you're building things like walls and offensive weapons, but also defensive, like catapults, which will move right up to your walls. Now, going along with the indirect nature, they're not going to take away units. There's a couple that do, but they're going to take away your coins. So you need to protect as much as possible. So you have things like your banker, your merchant, which on a daily basis goes out and takes your coin. And this whole time after this, with this day and night cycle, you're also having the seasons change. like I said, you start off in the spring, eventually go through all the seasons, and then the Two Crowns difference is it will restart again. After winter, you will go back to spring. Whereas with New Lands, it functions more as a roguelite, that you're starting off on a map, and then if they do take all your coins, they eventually will take your crown as well. After your whole kingdom in the middle has been taken out, all the coins have been taken. But along with all this, you're starting on a map, and your goal is to go through all the islands. So you're doing the same thing in another island, and then the difficulty gradually ramps up as well. Now, with New Lands, you want to get through all the maps, and you eventually win if you get to the last one. There's a little bonus Skull Island where you can actually destroy the portal, but the difference being you don't go inside and then permanently destroy it. It eventually comes back. But you see, like as far as weather effects, it's beautiful. Like you have the snow, you have the light and the dark, and various mounts too. And there's little differences here. Like the Griffin is exclusive to Two Crowns that I'm riding on here, and there's little subtle differences. Like he can eat mice to refresh his stamina. Or like with the deer, he can seduce other deer, and then your hunters will be able to gather coin from the deer throughout the map if you stand around long enough. And a little less, going back to aesthetic differences. The Japanese, I think it's Princess Mononoke kind of looking deer god. I believe it is. That is different from the classic, which is the standard deer that you had from New Lands, the early game as well. But as the seasons go on, you are dealing with, you'll notice here, there's no grass, there's no way for me to regain my stamina. Little things like that, little changes, farming, and just hunting as well. My archers are standing around, there's nothing to hunt, I gain less coins. So these are all little things that you have that you're planning as well. So after you get to a point, you need to get to the next island. So there is a ship randomly placed in the map. And going back to the currency, you're using coin to build up pieces where they rebuild the ship, so you can eventually leave the island, go to the next one, and the next one. Now, with Two Crowns, how it works is it's persistent. You don't start completely over with the islands that you have visited. There's a period of decay where you'll lose walls, whatnot, the longer you've been away, but those will persist. And your goal is to eliminate all of the portals on all of the islands. Now, it also is a little bit more forgiving as well. If you lose your crown, you do continue in the same world, basically, where you have built up each of your kingdoms on each island, but you just lose a little bit, and then it continues on. But it's much more forgiving, so it's not a bad game to start with if you are looking for something without the roguelite. But if you're looking at playing all of it, I recommend doing both. Other changes as well, you have things like napalm and extra units. The classic has the spearman, who can fish and also take out the greed on the wall, while the Japanese have the ninja, which hides in the forest and ambushes the greeds that come out. And other some little changes, like with the jewels, there's an extra currency to buy various buildings that can augment your existing building, as well as other mounts too, like you see here, that is exclusive to Two Crowns. But apart from that, both games function essentially the same. Apart from different buildings, you are expanding your base out left and right while defending using your walls. Throughout the game, and then the greed, the antagonists, increasingly increase as well in terms of numbers and the types that they'll do more damage, and different types too, whatnot. Now, a little bit more detail with the Two Crowns, the biome differences. Japanese and the classic, it is similar. I mentioned the ninjas and the spearmen, little aesthetic differences. Like here you see a hermit looks different from the classic. But also the trees, there's more bamboo trees and more of them. And how that functions as well is you're basically expanding and you need to balance out how far you want to go each time. Single player, multiplayer, it is limited to friends, but it is online, and it is also local as well, which is really nice for a smaller game. You don't see this as much. Just wish there was random matchmaking, because I don't have any friends to play this with, and so more of an obscure game. It's not like what you're usually going to be playing with people, or they're going to be aware of it. But as it is as a game, I do recommend it. It is just so different from what you play. It's kind of similar to like an RTS, but instead of a top-down where you're gradually spaced out, it's much simpler, where you just have a currency with coins and you're kind of going out, indirectly affecting everything. And you're balancing out, well, you don't want your builders to go out and get knocked out. Like if you mark so many trees and they chop them down, and then night falls and then you lose a bunch. Or with your walls too, there's those tense moments you're building and you just finish the wall right as the greed come out. So in terms of, just as it is as a game, as an indie game, how they use the pixel art style, definitely recommend it. I wouldn't if you're looking for a quicker game. It's a slow burn. You can save and start over, this and that, but you forget oftentimes. Like you've played it and you go back and it's a little bit and like, okay, where did I build? Where's the bases, whatnot? So, but thank you for watching. Please leave feedback, like, dislike. This is the type of review you gravitate towards. Maybe subscribe, and thank you for watching.